Good morning, everyone. Paul Duncan here with GammaEdge. Today is Thursday, the 24th of March. Let's get started. One of the first things we're seeing is a rotation from yesterday. I've marked where we've got the negative gamma for the major indices and the major ETFs, showing that the red wing, which is the net cumulative negative gamma, is going up and the call gamma is coming down. When we see this, generally it's everything is becoming well hedged and protection is being put in place, and that actually is a good indication, as you'll see here shortly. When we take a look at the Qs, the same story. We are seeing a little deeper protection on the left side. We really never got out of a negative gamma condition there. Same thing with the small cap stocks with the IWM. Same thing. Fairly dominant put structure, but for this reason of this rotation and where we were yesterday, especially with the SPX and the SPY, we're going to color this both yellow and green. There is some bullish upside that does exist with this. So we ran some tests this morning looking at this overall condition. So when the net negative gamma is increasing but is less than net positive gamma, the prior day had an opposite condition. What we're seeing is, in general, the weaker edge, but it's still to the upside, so our bias is still to the upside, hence why we're going to color this both yellow and green. When we take a look at the market model via the cumulative tick, it's bullish, but you can see we've had several days of trending sideways here, and so it's going to be really important to get a continuation reversal to have this the cumulative tick move upwards. If we don't get that and we start moving south of where we were a few days ago, that'll be a risk off indicator and to protect profits. So we definitely want to be watching that throughout the day. And for those of you who are part of the Discord, you've got access to the TOS tools as well as the TradeStation tools to monitor that in real time. When we take a look at the ES this morning, I will note that the positive gamma has fallen from 4750, excuse me, down to 4600. This generally is often short-term bearish, and we want to watch that. Also note too that POI and negative gamma exposure have moved up, so they've moved closer to spot price. So that too is also bearish for the short term. Yesterday we called that we needed to watch for weakness below the 4480 level, and sure enough we saw it almost to the numbers, and you can see we've hit it overnight in the European markets. We just cannot get above that 4480. That happens to be positive transition, so we are sitting in this transition zone between 4200 and 4480, and as many of you are aware, we can get whipped around there. So for that reason, we're going to color things yellow. With we're going to need to really push hard above 4500 if we're going to recover the bullish side of the trades here. When we take a look at the vol and the VIX, you can see that the vol is actually coming up. This is usually a precursor to increased volatility overall in the markets, which could be both to the upside or to the downside. You can see that the VIX is printing another inside day here, spinning top, almost closed right at the highs yesterday, but did not take out the previous day highs. We are looking to see that new high come in relative to yesterday, and if that happens, we'll take a close look here at putting a spread on between 29 and perhaps 37 to give us some upside range, and put some time on it also, just to make sure that if we do see a subsequent collapse, we have some time to recover that. When we take a look at expiration, first of all, I've got to apologize. I cut the bottom off here, so there was no dates yesterday, so I fixed that today. And you can see a couple things. We've increased on the 331 expiry a significant amount relative to yesterday. We think this is two reasons. One is natural. It's just the march through the calendar as we get closer and closer to the 0 DTE of the 331. Whatever gamma is there is going to expose itself into a larger amount, and we're actually seeing that on a relative basis to yesterday. The other thing too is that you saw that we had puts being added to the overall structure in both the SPX the SPY, the Qs, the IWM. And when that occurs on this expiry, we're going to increase these net negative numbers. And so we're seeing that. Overall, we're seeing fairly weak positive and negative gamma. We are starting to see a little bit more negative start to develop for the April expiry, monthly expiry. But for all intents and purposes, we're watching the 331 to see what happens there. This is where the JPM roll is going to occur. That's about a $20 billion impact on the markets, and we're going to want to watch that fairly carefully. If we can't get over that 4510, that could be more of the same that we're seeing right now. When we take a look at the overall SPX status, I think it's important to note that we're in a net negative gamma condition. Fairly significant amount here. A lot was added, a lot on the negative side was added yesterday, and I think that just shows that people are anticipating some downside movement and they're taking advantage of it. We're well protected to the downside, which is indicated down here by circle 4. The yellow line is where we closed yesterday. You can see that the JPM hedge up here at circle 3 is also counterbalanced with this 4500, so you can imagine as we move up out of this transition area, we're going to get slapped around here between positive and negative. This typically is going to become, as we get closer and closer to the 331 expiry, it's going to become more dominant on the JPM side. And so we're going to have to watch that. If we can get more calls being built in up here towards 4600, we could push through quite easily. The dealer reaction to that would be to buy, and we could continue upward through the JPM hedge. But if we do not see those increased calls, we could get pinned underneath this 4500, 4510, 4520 where the copycats are up, and we could just have more of the same. So that's it for today. Urge everyone to join us at www.gammaedge.us. If you like today's content, we go into a lot more depth there, a lot of tools there. This will take you to a sign-up page for the Discord, 14-day free trial, all the tools turned on. We've got a great group, great voice chat. We call out a lot of things of what we're seeing. It'll, if you're a beginning trader, it'll help get you on the right path. If you're an experienced trader, there are a lot of tools here you can overlay with your process. Of course, follow us at GammaEdges with an S on Twitter, and of course you're watching this with YouTube, so we would like you to like the button there and also follow, subscribe, and help get us up in the search engines on YouTube. So thanks everyone, have a great day.